and welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show. We're having a very interesting conversation today. I'm just going to start with a comment, maybe two, based on the conversation that we're having today. And the very first one is from Miriam Walewi, and she says she's been married for 9 years, and someone, thinking the other half, decides to marry another lady, your neighbor. They plan on dowry ceremony ukiwa kwa nyumba while you're in the house unawares of what is going on. The shame, but all in all, God is faithful. I'm going to recover from that and make it a testimony. So Miriam goes ahead and shares that. And then going down into the comments, a gentleman called Abu says, you leave your marriage of 9 years kwa sababu ya wivu, because of jealousy. Even holy men had wives. This man hajakufukuza. He's not told you to leave. He has not denied you your rights. He's just decided to add another wife, which is his right. Then you decide to quote unquote kill your marriage. Now you've left him to enjoy nawewe yourself. It is eating you up. So this is the conversation we're having today, about you being in a relationship, you being in a marriage rather, and your man deciding to marry another person and you decide to stay. What does that actually mean, Zulu?
And let's start with that sick pathology from that man.
Yes, please.
Shifting the blame to say the woman is the one who quitting the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
She entered a monogamous union.
Yes.
And the man has terminated the monogamy.
Yes.
And brought a third party.
Yes.
So who has terminated? Is it her or him?
Him.
Thank you. This kind of men who shift blame narcissistically to make you feel like when you stand for what is right, you're the one to blame. This is sickness, pathology, and next time we carry somebody to throw that at you, tell them, can I also get a second man and you remain in my life?
Please.
Thank you.
By all means.
So why do men think they can just add another woman and she cannot add another man? This complex, seniority complex of men feeling their superior gender, they're entitled to have multiple lovers, while you stay there to get a fraction of them, to be joined to a sexual network, envy network, pathology, be dragged into lusts and the things, and to be suppressed into a small space. And now you are leaving your marriage. There's no marriage anymore. I wanted, if I'm not enough for you, I don't want to be part of it. So these characters, and I'm happy you read one of them, because I would never read such pathology myself. Never even listen to such toxicity. I find it an insult.
It is.
Quickly, if you want to know what polygamy is, don't ask the guy marrying, ask the children.
Oh.
Ask the children. If you want to know what really it is, ask children. They'll tell you chaos, mayhem, witchcraft, hatred, a war zone. Polygamous marriages are hell to the children. We, many of us, we saw it.
Yeah.
I have my friends who I knew their potential was better than mine. But because multiple women were brought into their family, the strife itself, the conflict, holy men and wives. Let me tell you about that holy part.
Please.
Polygamy is recorded in the Bible, but it is not recommended.
Okay.
It is recorded as a historical fact because it happened, but it is not recommended for you to do it. Okay. There's nowhere Bible proposes. When Abraham was never polygamous. People keep saying,
he's been brought up in the comments. Yes.
Many wives. He married others after the first one died.
Yeah.
Sarah died, then he got his Keturah, then there are other children there. They came buried. Even if there's a point at which Sarah was old and said, get a child.
Yes.
Even if you are to argue it and say, this one was recommended, this one brought here, the fact is, it was regrettable when he got a child with Hagar. It never worked. And in fact, he had to be chased, he had to dissolve the whole thing.
Yes.
Later on, he gets children with another woman, and God still continues to refer, take your son, the only son. God disregards those, because the son he had commissioned was with your wife.
Yes.
We don't even know the names of those other women, of those other children.
Yeah.
And it was Isaac who was given everything. How much hatred did they have when they are legitimately children of Abraham and they're left out? Yeah. What strife was planted there? So even if he had, when Sarah was still alive, although she was too old, Maybe some things they couldn't function. He himself was also old. I should not call my wife old when I'm also old. I don't get that mathematics. Am I eternal myself? Am I everlasting? Why do I call her old and both of us are growing old?
Oh, God.
What kind of thinking is this? We grow old together.
Yes.
We are young together. We do life together.
Yes.
We expire together. We are both perishable.
Yes.
Excuse me. Don't impute an insult on me. As if I am bread, you are stone. You are honey, I am blue band. I have expiry, you don't.
Yes.
No. We are both doing this together. So there's another place you hear it recorded where this person, like Jacob, had 2 sisters, married, but he was swindled. He was not planning to get 2 wives.
Yes.
He was cheated out of it. But what characterized the polygamy? Isn't it strife? Isn't it chaos? Isn't it constant tension? Isn't it even leading to death prematurely, one of the women?
Yeah.
Constantly trying to get power, even going to outcut gods of her father? Isn't it by trying so hard to get her space that there was never peace in that home? What characterized the polygamists? Trying to compete with each other. They even get their assistants to get more children, to compete against the core with children. Get my children with my, get this, until God still worked his purpose in the children of Jacob.
Yeah.
But the strife in that family, the strife is not worth it. You can see it recorded in many people's lives, but all of it was strife. In fact, in New Testament, it was expressly made, 1 man, 1 wife. So there were no holy men there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people are trying to put women in a small space to use them. And they continue arguing it. So today we are saying, what is wrong then when society tells you just stay on for the sake of children? These kind of human beings.
Yeah.
The ones who are always talking there, telling you, oh, now look, now you are walking out. I'm not walking out. There is nothing here anymore. What I signed up has ended.
Yes.
I wanted 1 man, 1 woman. The moment you terminate it, you can't tell me I'm walking out. It's simply, you are the one who walked out, in fact.
Yeah.
You're the one who ended it.
Quite literally.
Never be reverse guilted in a false way, to be made like, yeah, sorry, now you decided to walk out. There was nothing anymore. The moment you leave, what you had has left. The same way they were asking in another show, if a man comes after 10 years of disappearing, should you take him back? If he comes back, should you accept him? And I asked him, he's coming back to what? Where? The moment he left, it ended. What are you coming back to? Is this a stone that will tend itself? Marriage, like a tree, must tend it for it to remain alive. The moment you neglected it, dried. I also moved on. Do you think I'm a stone to stay here waiting for you? Hoping you come tomorrow?
No.
I see another one giving testimony. I prayed. My husband came back after 18 years. Okay, continue with your prayers. If you think that's now an answered prayer for man coming back, it's okay. Sometimes God deals with you according to your level.
Yes.
But, Mikali, as you said, some of these women stay on because they have nowhere to go. They did not build a life. They did not stay because of love. It's because they don't have economic stability to support themselves.
That is true.
Many of them did not have a life at all.
Yes.
They skipped the critical stage of becoming themselves. The reason women were piled up in polygamy is because they were not allowed to self-determine, self-develop, If they were allowed to become who they were, they would have a say. I don't need this kind of nonsense. I can finance my life. So women were kept small to be bundled, many of them, with 1 man. They were kept small to be used as sex objects. Even today, we still have communities where any man can go into a home and sleep with the women there. But just placing a spear somewhere. I'm the one here now, I'm sleeping with the women here. They still have that to this day.
Yep.
Where women are being reduced to things, kept ignorant and blindfolded. A woman who knows herself will not be bundled. Would you be bundled together?
Never.
Even the thought itself is enough. The thought. The fact that you can tell me, I'm thinking of, okay, continue. The fact that you're already contemplating it shows you we are not in the same page. Mwikali used to say women were not staying because it was working, because they had no option. Women who have an option, even in Islam, which allows, today's modern Muslim will not accept it.
That's true.
She was saying, excuse me. And I was telling them, you see, the Quran allows, does not compel.
Doesn't it? Allows. It allows, does not say it's a must.
So those women will simply tell you, if you want that, I'm not part of it, thank you.
Yes.
So let me tell you, Mikali, this was a system to oppress women, say, oh, in Africa context.
Yeah.
So to say, the first problem when you stay on is that you begin, in fact, if you have observed, once the man goes out, sometimes they marry or they don't marry. Officially, they just start getting involved with another woman. Don't wait for the official marriage. Many women, by the time they get married, they're already a side chick for a long time. So don't wait for the formalization. They're trying to sanitize something that was already existing. Don't be deceived. It's not a marriage that changed the thing. This was already a cheater. It's already cheating out there. They were already infidel. Hardly with a woman who has been living her own, walk in, get married as a second woman. She will have compromised herself, got a kid, got entangled, confused, then they are sanitizing it by getting married. And in another whole show, we talked what is wrong with being a second wife.
Yeah.
We talked about it. And the worst part was you'll have no moral authority to guide your children to the right way. You'll have no consciousness to pray to God when you know somebody else is crying because of you. You'll have no peace of mind wondering whether thieves are being sent to come and kill me. You'll have no way to assert yourself out there and show your children knowing you compromise and sold short to become somebody's an extra thing. Women who marry second wives almost always started as cheating side chicks. They're trying to sanitize an existing problem. So you who was already there, we're the one we're addressing today.
Yes.
Go and watch that other show if you're the one thinking of getting married as a second wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've also done another show of these young, naive, jumping girls marrying divorcees. There's this guy, divorce is 48, I'm 26. I'm thinking, I think he's more stable now. I'm so tired of my age mates that just seem to do what they want. These boys are so frustrating. I think now I'll just get a mature man who is done with the boys' behaviors. This guy, the wife, they passed, they're not together anymore. And he treats me so nice. He's so understanding. He knows what he wants. He's so caring. He knows how to handle women. At 26 years old, and I've done a whole show called What's Wrong with a Young Woman Marrying a Divorced Man.
Yes.
We're not labeling divorced men because, as we say, sometimes it's divorce to avoid death, sometimes the other person walks out, sometimes they're correcting a mistake, sometimes they're avoiding disaster. But we're just saying when you are 20-something, a man is 40-something, or a man is coming from another marriage, he has another life, is in a different place in life.
That's true.
We're not saying you can't do it, but you find you to be so different, to find a place to merge. You're experiencing this the first time, then doing it the second time.
Yeah.
We listed what is different in our show. Go there and look
Please
at it.
do.
And also a girl who is 20s marrying a man who is 40s. We also discussed that you're in a different places in life.
That's
the songs you remember, the memories for your age, the zeitgeist for your generation, the stories, the inspiration, the notions, the views, the world views, your opinions, and even the generational gap of thinking my child will need to be guided.
You're too old. You don't know. You don't get it.
Exactly. That generational clash, you suffer it there. So today we are discussing, if you stay, you'll experience misfortune, sickness, and a general degeneration in your lifestyle. In fact, you'll be cycling an orbit around hospitals, drugs, treatments. Why? There are several reasons. And I want you to observe, many people know that phenomenon. They just don't know the explanation. Okay. The moment a man starts moving with another woman out there, his own family starts suffering. The first wife starts going through things. Yeah. Even before it is formally a marriage. Are we together?
Yes.
As I told you, second wife is always coming from cheating. Today's second wives are not like those days. A woman will be carried by society and taken to another man, to be attached to be given social recognition, to stop looking like a not woman enough, like a failure, embarrassing your mother. She can't even raise girls who can be married. Girls have been put in a cocoon. Women have been put in a cocoon like this. Even they were being circumcised, being denied the ability to enjoy sex. That was the idea of circumcision. What did you think it was? It wasn't nothing special. It was all to remove her ability to enjoy sex, to just remain a sex toy for the man. Then they would say, to enable you to give birth. It's not related. It's not related. Please understand the whole thing. You will see it. And it was women who were forced to do it on their daughters, to prove that they can prepare her for serving a man.
Yes. That's true.
Don't say, traditions, cultures. In a courtroom of highness, a girl to never have a right. If you want to have a right, get out of the courtroom. Go establish your own life. Stop thinking inside the cultural cocoon. There are cultures that are good, that give us identity, our naming, our history, how we fought for our freedom. The cultural practices that give us strength are good. The cultural practices that put us in a cocoon are bad. Yeah. So one of the things we are saying is, you will start experiencing misfortunes and difficulty. Why? Because Number one is psychological stress. When you imagine how the person betrayed and promised and lied to you, and the investments you made, and how they have interfered with your life and shaped and shattered the direction of it, when you remember that alone, it can cause you brooding. Acidity goes up, pressure goes up, stress goes up. Your health deteriorates because of the stiffness and acidity of the whole betrayal, of the whole change. And then when you stay on, you have to see the situation every day. The person comes, they're talking about you. You hear rumors, people asking you questions. Why doesn't so and so come? Children asking. You hear the other, we saw them. They bought this. We saw them here. Somebody calls. Is it your husband who did this? I saw another woman. When you stay on, the stress is sold to you every day. Don't insult yourself. The second reason why you experience what will happen when you stay on is there is now an onset of wars. A woman who has the capacity to invade another woman's territory does not have dignity or self-control or self-respect not to attack you. She'll always be looking for a way to make you undesirable. So many times they will use black magic or anything, or even curses or anything, to make you rotate from sickness to sickness, so that you're not sexually desirable to this man. So that you look like you're struggling and you're a burden. That's one reason. Many of them, those who know occult powers, they would stop at nothing. They'll use it. Others by just sending insults at you. Others just throwing curses at you. Others sending messages at you. Others will lobby. They will win everybody who was friendly to you. They will even try to bribe some children, bribe this. They'll do anything. They'll poison this man. They'll create stories. So the second problem is there will be tussles now, fights now. They can be black magic, they can be forces, or they can be just politicking, maneuvering, sending bad words, directing hatred at you to just make you undesirable and struggling. The third reason why what will happen when you stay on is financial withdrawal of financial support. That man's money is taken that direction. And a lot of time you may say, me, I'll live by this idea. I have my own money. I have my own job. I have my own this. I have my own this. Those people are so cunning. And many people who come to a man who's already married are money-minded. After the money. As I told you, you find a woman who herself, she's self-sustaining. And she contracts a very bad deal. Marriage as a second woman, when she's the one financing the man, she comes in, bad deal or bad deal. Did I give you one reason? Many times they have messed up their lives and they're looking for nature's justice. They don't deserve a good man. They can only agree a bad deal because they have self-esteem, or they are self-confidence, or they have guilt, or they have a sense of justice hanging over them. When you hear Bible talking about the judgment of God, sometimes it's just what He planted in you, what He instilled in you for doing right. And when you do wrong, it haunts you.
Yes, it does.
It condemns you. Your own conscience disagrees with you. What do you think you deserve, my friend? What are you waiting for? Even you don't. A good man approaches you, refuse, because you don't deserve a good man. And you even tell him you deserve something better, not me. I don't deserve you. You don't give details, but you're telling him I've done too many bad things. I should not be given good things. Justice. So that sense of justice, guilt haunts you. Sometimes they are after the money this man has. After the status this man has, the properties this man has. So a strife will start. And you know, society will tell you to stay for the sake of your children. When you stay in such a hateful environment, the children now will experience hate properly. They will experience discrimination. They'll experience not being preferred, watching you being stressed. You confuse them further. And I hope you saw that many of the vocal lesbians, or the so-called, have painful background. And guy says, me, I just announced actually, and I'm not created differently. Clearly, it's a result of complicated pain. You may keep your children there until they hate marriage, they start looking for comfort. Lesbianism, it's what you expose them to. Many of them is the inability to resolve how much pain they experience and betrayals, and how they saw one parent tormented. Never immerse your children in that polygamous environment. You are torturing them. And I asked you, we ourselves, many of us are children of that. Everybody has a friend who grew up in polygamy, even if not you. Ask them whether they would recommend it. Others tell you God hates divorce. This marriage is no longer there, it's been dissolved. Divorce from what? It was dissolved in the other parts of
somebody put asunder.
Exactly. Death has already come. The death of the union. The union is no longer there. When a person moved on to another person, even if it's not officially married, but they are with another person, it's no longer marriage. And it's to say, the same God who hates divorce also hates injustice, unfairness, hates abuse, also hates unfairness. I don't know why people only pick that and forget that it's also very fair. It's also very just. And he said actually, in the cases of infidelity, it's allowed expressly by the Bible. Yes. Infidelity itself is enough. But as I told you, the last reason why women stay and what will affect you, what will happen when you stay on, you lose yourself. You used to be an assertive woman.
Yeah.
That conversation told me you heard somewhere.
Yes.
Where people lose themselves when they compromise on something.
Yeah.
They never used to find tolerable.
Yeah.
They compromise on it so long, somebody demeaning you, talking arrogantly to, cheating, moving on to someone else, and then you tolerate it until you lose that value. You lose yourself. You lose what you believe. You lose who you are. You lose what you believe, what you stand for. And now you can't even remember who are you in the world. What do you deserve? Where are you going? So you become just something, just there. That is the worst outcome of staying on after somebody has betrayed you and brought in another one. They reach a place where they have become so entitled to treat you anyhow because you have shown that you can accommodate it. I saw some other woman say, I would rather a polygamous man than a monogamous man who is very cheating around, who is having many side chicks. And people simply asked her, who told you that now that when he has two women, you control himself? He can't control himself with one. You think you control himself with two or three or four?
Plus, what is this you're saying you'd rather?
No, these are those confused young people who have not found who they are. I checked those characters. None of them are university kids. And that's why these women who have lived a semi-prostituting life. You know the women who have nothing to show?
It's a semi-what? Break it down.
Some women have lived a low-key prostitute life.
Okay.
Not officially standing on the street.
No.
But very unprincipled. They don't deserve any man to be a wife on their own. They don't have the values. Don't have the personality. They have not. As we said, it takes work to become marriageable. They have never done the work. So they know nobody will ever marry them. So anybody wants to marry them, wife number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, is better than nothing. So they start arguing these other philosophies. It's better a polygamous man. It rains everywhere. Men have a permission to roam. By nature, men have a license to roam. They roam around like even...
It's in their DNA. Imagine they were created like that.
This is justifying your own lack of value, your own lack of dignity.
Yes.
Love is territorial and exclusive. Let's emphasize that. Love cannot be shared. I can see you have a comment. You can read it.
Yes, there's someone is saying some of us were brought in those in those polygamy nonsense.
Very good.
I cannot imagine getting into one. And this just affirms what you had said.
Did I tell you?
Yes, you did.
The people can tell you what polygamy is children. Mikali, when you love your children, you want to give them a loving atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't want strife in my home. I want my children to grow peacefully, to sleep. For me to have a moment with them every night. For me to meet them every time I'm home. For me to meet... We talked about Father's Day and how they were there for their children. Yes. Will you do that when there's so much strife between the families? Remember the point that many times when we think of our children, and then I told you of a caring man who told me the wife has since died, but he has not married yet, waiting for the children to at least grow and go to college. Yeah. There's another one in your home.
Yes, there is. How do you know?
I can see.
Rachel says, sometimes you find yourself trapped. For example, a man finds a job in a first city from home. Then gradually you find that he is changing. He doesn't come home often with work excuses. But after many years of marriage, you find out that he has another woman, after which you have wasted all of your youth with him. Kids are in school. You are not financially stable. And this comment by itself is 3 different shows that we've had here.
Exactly.
And I think just speaking out from... we are married and in a long distance.
We have discussed and said, don't allow people to maintain a potentially secret life.
Yes.
If you have committed yourself to a person, don't be naive. Don't be naive.
Yeah.
Check the kind of life they're living.
Yes.
You can't invest all your life somewhere you're not even checking. The other thing I'm saying, you realize, children are in school. Remember when a person when you find out there's another woman, when they have another woman, the energy has changed.
Yeah.
The things have changed.
Yeah.
The children can continue to be in school. Who said they cannot continue to be in school? They can always school.
Yeah.
But the kind of strife and energy that is existing now cannot continue. So if they have always had another family, then they have always been lying. Will you stay on a lie just because it has lasted for long? No. And thank God if now you don't have diseases, because when you're 3 of you, it's a sexual network. anything can happen. It's a sexual network.
Allah.
You're not two of you now.
Yes.
There's no fidelity now. So it's to say this person is saying, I'm not financially stable. Financial stability is relative. When you are determined to make it on your own, you will.
Yeah.
It's not about whether you have the money in the account.
Yeah, and I think money comes up a lot because Virginia also says why women stay with men who don't support them will remain a mystery to me. If you can't have his time, you're not having his money, his attention, please leave with the earliest bus. Ya kwanza tafadhali, usingoje nyingine.
You need a degree of self-preservation.
Yeah.
You need a sense of self-protection.
Yes.
You need a sense of dignity. Mwikali dignity gives you bare minimums, eh?
That's true.
There are things I can't put up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even before I plan my life, I will have left and I will live somewhere there, thinking from over there.
Yeah.
What I'll do next.
Mm-hmm.
So, for you to allow yourself to be in a triangle, to be put in a triangle, to be used like that, is just proof that you've lost yourself.
And that is true. And I love what you talked about earlier, how you tolerate so much that you lose your values. And I think when the man gets that kind of power in this kind of relationship, in this kind of union, then they know for sure, no matter what they do to you, no matter how much they disgrace you,
you can't go anywhere.
You will never go anywhere.
Please also, as you finish, one other girl who is as beautiful as you.
Yes, please.
You hear those comments every day. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty. But because of your prettiness, you don't invest in developing your gifts.
Ah, la, la, la.
In your capabilities.
Yes.
In your talents.
Yes.
Because you seem to be good enough for life. You're so charming. Everybody wants to give you favor. So you think it will always be like that?
It will not. It will not. Ha! Your face will get burnt. You will break a leg. You will have children. Those hips will grow bigger. They will not go back to how small they were. These physical things that you see, they change. But character, values, and principles can stand the test of time. And in summary, stop allowing people to drag you around into demonic battles as they run after their lusts. What do you need to do? Protect yourself and cut them loose at once. If you're not enough for them, they should go and get who they want, but they cannot expect you to be part of those shenanigans. We shall not